Oh, yes, here we are. Love them knives. Studio. LTK here. And yeah, we got the Kizer Matanza. I saw this knife. I saw this knife at the 2018 SHOT Show. I had seen it before the SHOT Show in late 2017, of course. The thought was this was going to be micarta. And then the thought changed. I think it was accessibility of that particular kind of micarta or something like that for this production. So they went to carbon fiber, which is fine with me. So Nick Swan is the collaborative designer. He's the designer. You can go to his website, Nick Swan Knives or whatever. I'll put the link in just in case you're curious. And he has a picture of this knife. I mean, not this Kizer produced knife, but of this design. And I think it does say Kizer is going to make this design in collaboration with Nick Swan. In any case, so what about this knife? Well, what would you like to know? How about it is a titanium Framelock flipper knife. Here's your lockup. It's about 30%. It has a hardened steel insert in the lock bar. It has an over travel stop right there to keep the lock bar from overextending when releasing the lock. And it is centered. There's no blade play and no lock rock on this knife. Okay? It's great. Fit and finish is wonderful, as are most of these Bladesmith series knives that Kizer puts out. In fact, I'm trying to think of a Kizer knife of any grade that they've issued where I've really had any major problems. And I think I had one. And I sent it to them and they just turned around and sent me another one. So that was it was pretty quick turnaround too. Reminds me of a story. I'm not going to tell it. I just learned today from another guy. Well, he sent his knife back, but it was, he bought it off my table sale, I think used. And then he sent it to them because of something that he was curious about on the detent. He thought the detent maybe not as strong as he liked. And they turned around and sent him a brand new knife in the box back. So that was interesting. In any case, not that that would necessarily happen to everybody, but I don't know. That was just his story. Any case, so look at these pivot rings. So they're decorative here. They're blue, even under these pretty intense lights. They're not as pale blue maybe as the light in some cases indicates, but yeah, they're more like, that kind of a medium blue. Nice, long fuller along the blade. Just really like this. When I saw this at the SHOT Show, at their booth, I really did like it. I'm glad they went with carbon fiber here. And you look inside and no, they haven't weight relieved it from the inside, but obviously they had to mill out a cavity to put the carbon fiber in. So, and I haven't disassembled this knife. I'm assuming, it's like all the others I've taken apart with bearings on the pivot. Obviously, you got the hardened steel insert and all that. And you got these screws you pop off with the usually a number 8 Torx here to loosen that, and it comes apart. So no big surprises there. Flipper tab is jimped. Check it out. This is just kind of to give you a better look at the knife. Yeah, I'm laughing because I'm thinking about some things that I'm going to talk about that may be a bit more controversial than just how nice and lovely this knife is. And Matanza, Nick Swan. This is the A1, 3.44 inch blade. S35VN. See, they have the one with the recurve as well. They have two knives. This is the one without the recurve. I was going to show you. I don't have a picture of the one with the recurve, but you can look online and see that there are two different blade shapes. And I didn't want the recurve, so I got the one without. There's some other things about this knife. I mean, lockup's great, no lock stick, no lock rock, like I said before. Opening the knife, not a problem if you're making good contact with that flipper tab. And is it real intuitive? It just depends. If your fingers are a little like not maybe calloused at the end and not as grippy on the tips, this flipper tab to me, I know it's fairly muted, so it's not real obtuse or out in your face that bad. On the other hand, I'm not sure I get the design here. I think I probably would have, and let me see if I can hold something out. I mean, just kind of take that part of the flipper tab off, that backside. I don't think you need it. Come up here and then cant the top of this flipper a little more forward. In fact, maybe take some of the material off of here and make it more a straight up and down flipper. The problem I'm having is I'm coming up a sloped hill, and in doing that you have less grip. If it's more a straight up and down, like this material is gone out of here, and this is more a straight up and down, even maybe with a bit of a forward cant, it's just a lot easier to make contact with this. I can't tell you how many times my finger has slipped off of this and not been able to flip the knife open because of the gentle slope up and the gentle slope back. I don't even need this back slope. I don't even need this. I don't even know why this is here. It doesn't need to be there, and I wish I could show you, well, maybe a little bit of an example here. You know what I'm saying? This is so intuitive, so easy, that's just what I'm saying right there, okay? But, I mean, you can argue with me or disagree completely. I don't care. It's just me. And like Eric Baz says, Baz on Blasio, it's like, it's just me, guys. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just me. It's just me. Here we go. 3.44 blade. And if I could see through my camera, 3.5 inch. To me, that's 3.5. Overall, 8 inches. There you go. Just the same size as the Mannix. Right? Same size. 8 inches, 8 inches. 3.5, 3.5. I think that's pretty close to 3.5. Maybe not a perfect 3.5. In any case, here's like the PM2. This is 8.25, so this is a 1/4 inch longer. You know, and it's probably mostly in the handle. In fact, it is in the handle. That's the difference in the length there. So you can see right there, much taller blade than this. I like this because it's not a real tall profile blade. It's a good looking blade. Good looking design overall. There's your back, or your no back spacer. There's your standoffs. There's the top. So it's an open design, okay? To me, it's kind of nice to have a back spacer. Just saying. I kind of like having a back spacer. Another thing is a pocket clip here. It's on these stanchions, which you take those screws out, and then you got these individual pieces that could fall out and do whatever. And it's a stamped. I like milled. I gotta say I like milled. I'm just throwing that up just because milled. Whatever milled. You know, milled, whatever. Just have what you want, do what you do, but milled. Regardless. Would have been nice. I don't know. because it's a nice looking knife. It's really sophisticated. It really is. And I like that. Now, 3.5-inch blade, if you didn't know, in metrics, that'd be about 90 millimeters. Overall, though, 8 inches is how many millimeters? Sorry if I got you guys out of that. A little over 20 centimeters. So there you go. Now, let's go with the weight. Let's get some of these things out of the way. And the weight is in grams, almost 111 grams, 110.8 grams. And let's kick all the way back through here to ounces, under 4 ounces, 3.91 ounces. As long as we're zeroed out, yes, okay. 3.91 ounces, or 3.9 ounces. I could live with that. That's pretty light. That's nice. Well, you got the carbon fiber inlaid in there. Now, how fat is this? Well, 12 millimeters, which is 0.47. So, not that thick. Not as fat as the Griptilian, which is 0.6 of an inch thick. 0.47, that's fairly slender. That's slender like, come here, Fancy. Close your blade, we don't need it open. It's like this. It's pretty much the exact same. This is 0.455, something like that. So it's fairly slender. Not bad. Slide in the pocket. Pretty easy. I can bitch more about the flipper tab, but you know what? That's not a deal killer for me. But it's just kind of like, I don't know why all this material behind the tab is necessary. But it flips. Okay, it flips. And what's the detent like on this? It's pretty good. It's excellent. It's very strong. I think that's why it's been driving me crazy, because when the detent's really strong, you really need something to hook up with on that flipper tab. And I'm not feeling like I'm intuitively hooking up on that flipper tab. The jimping's pretty light there, if you can see. It's really light. It's not as intense as this. That's like snow tires, right? This is not. This is very, very still pretty smooth and fairly ineffective, actually. And I just keep sliding over that flipper tab. And it depends, if you're out, sweaty hands or in the heat, or you've handled other things that may make your finger a little slicker, then it becomes a little bit more difficult. Pocket clip, a little disappointing on this knife, actually. Milled would have been nice. And actually, I think a backspacer about up to here would have been really nice. It's a fairly light knife. It's under 4 ounces already. So it's not like it's going to make it a huge old hog. And it would have been nice if the milled pocket clip would have been blue to match these pivot rings out here. And maybe the backspacer to be kind of a light blue as well. Just imagining. Just imagining. And here I go down to the, hello, you're not a knife designer, so, shut the hell up. I guess. I get you. Although it's a nice EDC size knife, 3.5-inch, 8-inch overall, under 4 ounces. And yeah, fairly slender this way. Very attractive. So let me ask you a question. I just want your opinion. I've been starting to kind of feel a different way and for a little while. And I got to ask you a question, because I had a buddy in the Chicago area that bought a lot of custom and mid-tech knives. And he was looking at when the Riot K3s came out and they had Mokutai inlays on, that. And he goes, you flip it over, they didn't do any inlays on the back. It's just plain. It's like the knife is not completed, And now he's got me freaked out. So now I'm looking, well, I guess this is like the party side and this is the business side, kind of like a mullet. It's a business up front, party in the back. But, but you know, I mean, this is an inlay. This is not a solid piece of carbon fiber like this is. The 0452 ZT. And on the back, yeah, ignore the hardware. It's all been replaced. But in any case, so I understand a solid carbon fiber presentation side. Obviously, well, you could do this and then make it a liner lock, which actually would have probably not been a bad idea. But just pull this knife in. Okay, so, and I would have shown you the Stedman Zodiac, but it's gone now. But the Stedman Zodiac is another knife where on this side were inserts, carbon fiber, and on the back were also carbon fiber inserts. Actually, there were carbon fiber inserts in the blade as well on the Zodiac, but it also had carbon fiber on the back. So check this out. Why can you not kind of balance the knife and a milled clip? I don't know. I just think there's a couple. The flipper tab, kind of out of balance because these could have really been easily done and really balance the knife, and then a milled clip and maybe a backspacer, suspended one or something like that would have really, I mean, just to me, just my opinion. Hey, if it's a solid titanium knife, then okay, it's balanced front and back anyhow. I mean, it's just as contoured and milled, little mill lines in the back as it is in the front, so it looks balanced. Okay. This is one of my favorites, man. This is so good. This Sinkovich. I like it so much better than this one. Now I'm starting to look at this one going, I got half a knife. I mean, I really am not big on seeing the front and the back being so different. It's like, why cannot this, you know, have you seen the Wii Zephyr? Have you seen the Wii Eschaton or Zeta? Those are Isham designs. Speaking of Isham designs. And Kizer at the same time. Okay, so what's this look like on the back? Come on, LTK, show us. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Elijah. I appreciate it. See? Making my point. Let's get right with the back and the front. I do. I just think it looks more balanced. That's just whatever. And even on, okay, so they did this. So what did they do on the back, buddy? Yes, they did. They put carbon fiber on the back. I know this is a huge inlay for the whole thing, so the whole thing's augered out. How are you going to do that here? Well, you could do just a piece up here, just to kind of throw some symmetry in there. And just, you know, all these knives, it's like, you know, milled pocket clips, except for the ZT. You know what, buddy? That needs help. It does. I'll tell you what, I need to flip this pocket clip onto this knife, don't you think? Hell yeah, and the hardware too. Aftermarket. ZT's thinking about that aftermarket though. But yeah, I'm not digging. I don't really like these stanchion things here. If this knife had backspacer, milled pocket clip, maybe just give me a little love here, you know, and you can do that carbon fiber and actually bring it up to where it's like a bolster lock, or the carbon fiber acts a bit as an over travel stop as well, like this. See how that goes across here? And one more thing. Oh, this is the Kizer box this came in. In any case, one more thing that I have noticed, because this is not very deep, is My fingers are right here on this lock bar. They're right on the lock bar. And the more I squeeze that lock bar, the worse this thing the more power it takes to deploy, which gives me the other reason of what I want this to hook up better here on this flipper tab, because I am going to do this. And yes, I can feel that I'm impeding it. Now, if I go left hand, like my buddy Tony out in Cali, yeah, see where my thumb is? It's not on that lock bar, is it? It's just intuitively right here. This is how I'm holding it. Just if I close my eyes, put it in my hand, this is how I'm holding it, right here. And it definitely deploys much better. So I'm just saying, when you have a knife where through the design, the height here, you got a lot of the height in the lock bar, so your fingers tend to squeeze that lock bar, especially under pressure. And the flipper tab is just kind of a gentle, very lightly jimped slope. Not so intuitive. Not so intuitive, as opposed to where the lock bar cannot be squeezed because you've got the overlay that matches the front. Now have I completely pissed everybody off? There I go. You see that? Did you see my finger slip over there? I'm not getting the hookup. I do love the design. I'm wondering if it wouldn't have been better to, you've seen the Sabenzas where they have the strip and the strip. If they would have done that here and then done a strip and a strip here, that would have matched out and you would have balanced the knife. Just saying, I don't know. I mean, I'm just coming up with some thoughts. Other than that, the fit and finish is good. I like the overall design. And I like, the quality of materials used here, the titanium, the S35VN steel blade. I like the idea of the fuller. I like the blade shape. I like the whole knife shape. Just some things I think are not as per what, I really thought this is a knife that has got to be in my keeper list. But you know what? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Now that I've spent some time with it, and I've delayed putting this on my channel, but now that I've spent some time with it, it's not a lust thing for me anymore. It's just, and if you go front and back to a knife that doesn't have inlays, do you want it to match? I do. I want this and this to look the same, And if you're going to do carbon fiber, do it right. Yeah, either make it a liner lock or axis lock, right? This Nakamura is just wonderful. And do I have a problem with carbon fiber? No. But I want the back and the front to look the same. If you got just a regular slip joint knife from Case or whatever, the front and the back look the same. Fixed blade knives, they have scales on them, front and back look the same. Just saying. It's just a little weird now. Even look at this knife, Venom Attacker. Wonderful knife, isn't it? Look at that. Everybody I know that has one just absolutely loves it. But come on. That's too bad. That could have really been, it's just, if you're going to do that, yeah, maybe. Just a thought. And that's me, okay? That's just me. But in the future, I think things like the Wee Zephyr or things like the Megatherium where it's balanced, or, knives where they're balanced are going to be more attractive to me. Or if they do it as an axis lock or a liner lock and the front and the back look the same, that's more. And there's so many, I could not collect all them anyhow. So this is cool. This works. This works. I'm just saying. And knives that are liner locks, same on the back and the front. And you don't interfere with their deployment because the liner lock is there. And I'm starting to really like liner locks more. Okay, I'm going to quit. I'm going to shut the hell up. Okay, shut the hell up and let you go. But I just, you know, it's so pretty from the front, isn't it? Just some things. I don't know. If they would have put a backspacer and then a milled clip, could I have lived with it? Yeah. But it's just not making my thing because of those. It's just, like I said, it's just me. Just me. In any case, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you hanging out and suffering my idiotic opinions sometimes. But I'm just kind of giving you my gut reaction, kind of how things have developed with me and my preferences. And they can be wrong to you. That's okay. But I just go with what I feel. And everybody needs to do that. And there's plenty of knives out there, believe me, for everybody to do whatever. But you know what? That Wee Zephyr, I might have to get that back again. I might have to buy me another one. That blue and, oh my God, that thing. And the carbon fiber on both sides. Just, that thing is looking, in my mind, sweeter and sweeter all the time. And there are so many other knives out there that are more balanced like that. So, take care, my friends. What the heck? It's just my opinion, which pretty much means nothing to most people. So there you go. But you know what I do. Yeah. I love them knives. So you guys, stay sharp, my friends.